The 6 biggest Commander storylines.
It is caught!
Delivered at 6 o'clock sharp. It's the Pick 6 at 6.
I'm going to be their biggest and harshest critic, but I'm also their number one fan.
All right, so Anthony and I picked 6 players who we thought were going to be super key to the game. On Friday, we now, on a Monday, look back at those 6 players and see how they did. And Anthony, I will say this. What a look you just had on your face.
Man.
I will say this. I think we picked 5 of 6, maybe 4 of 6 at least, really good players to watch. How they played, and also I will say this was the segment on Friday right after I read a weather report in the break that said it was going to be like a hurricane basically, and even if it didn't rain, the winds were going to be crazy. Turns out there was some rain, there wasn't a lot of wind, it was fine. So it did kind of affect our picks. I think we get that's not an excuse. That's just what happened. But I started off with the linebacker play, and it's the 3rd straight week that PFF thinks Cody Barton stunk. I don't think he was horrible. I don't think really the defense in all was horrible, but they clearly were not great. There's a 3rd down at one point that Jamin's got a tough play to make. He doesn't make it. That, I think, eventually leads to a touchdown where it would have been a field goal. But, like, overall, I thought the linebackers played okay, and they were not as stressed as I thought they might be based off a litany of factors. Overall, like, the defense played okay. I mean, I know this is like an unpopular thing to say because everyone, like when you lose 37-3, how can you say that anything was good enough? But the defense played well enough to win. God, the brightness on this computer is terrible right now, the angle. So let me see if I can read this real quick. Here's the Buffalo drives. 11 plays, 57 yards, ends in a field goal. 5 plays, or is that 6? It's 6 plays and a punt. The 1-play touchdown drive, that one was real bad. 15 plays, 62 yards, 9:47. Time of possession, terrible. 3rd down conversions, terrible, but ultimately hold to a field goal. And then last drive of the first half, 6 plays, 19 yards, field goal. So it's 16-0 when you get the ball off of interception, punt, downs, interception. Like, you're put in bad spots all half long, and ultimately you hold an elite offense to 16 points. Washington then gets interception. Buffalo then throws the pick back, the arm punt. Couple plays, or a couple of drives later, Buffalo gets the ball, 6 plays and out, 32 yards on downs when they got the ball in pretty good field position. And then Antonio Gibson fumble. They come back, 8 plays, 31 yards, touchdown. They get the pick 6, does Buffalo. And then the last touchdown drive, obviously not great to make it 37-0. But there's drives in here where they don't give up a ton of yards and they give up field goals because, like, they're just in such bad spots. And I think the linebackers in general did a pretty good job on that, or did a pretty good job all day. The defense generally did a pretty good job all day. But at the end of the day, like, Stephon Diggs is really, really good, and he got loose a lot. Josh Allen's amazing, and he got loose a lot. And that's how you lose 37-3 on a day where your offense doesn't give you a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the linebackers played all that bad. Now, in the 4th quarter, I will say, they gave up, some huge chunk runs.
At that point, when you're down 30-3, like, I don't care anymore. Not that I don't care, like, I just don't care that much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the game was out of the way, but I mean, I agree with everything you said. The defense definitely played good enough to, keep us in the game. They only had 16 points going into the 4th quarter. So that means for 3 quarters, you gave up 16 points. So, I mean, I don't know. This is just a game.
And just, you had your back, like, the Gibson fumble is such a backbreaker. They were playing really well, frankly, until that point. And you just get a 4th down stop. Duran's, like, jumping, skipping off the field. The crowd's got, like, a little bit of buzz to it.
Yep.
The momentum in the stadium felt like that's the moment. Like, oh, they're about to make this a game. This is such a Rivera game. It's like they're going to gut it out. And Gibson fumbles, and then it down the tubes it goes.
Takes all the air out of you, to be honest. But what I will say about the defense's performance, the fact that, the Buffalo Bills, who's a top 5 defense in the NFL, they show what we can be if we get takeaways. Like, we had opportunities. Plays were there to be had, and we just got to make those plays. So if we want to be like the Buffalo Bills, we just got to be able to go out there and actually make the plays because they made them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Also helps when the quarterback gives them to you, and But I do think some of those plays, you're right. Like Buffalo makes them. Like the Micah Hyde interception in the flat, like that's a big time play.
And who's
Jump
the kid that was
over-
killing? 43.
Yeah, I mean he's great.
His
The linebacker.
interception.
Yeah,
was
I mean
crazy.
that's against a lot of teams. Like that's a good ball by Sam, and
Yeah.
it's just a great pick. For whatever it's worth, PFF has Barton's graded a 44.8, Jamin's 68.9. Barton, the worst of all the regular starters. That has been a trend. It's not a good trend.
Nope.
All right, off we go.
Number 2.
In our pick 6, Anthony, you selected Tress Way. And actually, Tress mattered in this game because according to Ron Rivera, Tress only got a 57 from PFF. I was like, do they do punter grades? Sure do, apparently. They didn't get enough hang time on the kick where they get the big return.
Yeah.
So that's not great.
Yeah, but this is also a game where I thought, we were going to be moving the ball. We were going to be pinning the Bills. And
Here's the thing. Your punter doesn't matter that much when you turn the ball over all the
exactly, we're
time.
giving it away.
Like, Tress only punted... Where'd it go?
What?
Yeah, I think it was like twice in the
Yeah.
game. 3. He had 3
times.
in the games. He averaged 50.
I mean, we would get down there, just turnover. So, I don't know. There's not much Tress can do on that front, but I also thought it was going to be a little muddier of a game, so.
That's true. All right, off to
Number 3.
Boy?
Brian Robinson.
Yes, sir.
I selected that one correctly.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, I don't get why he didn't get the ball more. I truly, honestly cannot figure out. I said this in First and 10. I'll say it again here. The reason you don't run the ball a ton is because it's inefficient. It's it's an inefficient way, a non-maximized way to move the ball down the field. Typically, the benefit of it is it's fairly low risk. Of course, there are fumbles that happen, but interception rates are higher than fumble rates. When you're averaging 8 yards a carry, the math changes. Robinson, 10 for 70 on the day. I don't get it. When you're moving the ball at that kind of clip, just keep running it because good things are happening and the bad things are very, very unlikely. It drives me nuts, Anthony.
Yeah, definitely wanted more usage out of Brian Robinson. Everybody's been talking about, his 10 carries and how he needs more than just 10 carries, especially averaging 7 yards a carry. But also, what was the screen game? I think that was a huge emphasis throughout the week. Everybody took note of that. From last game when we played the Broncos, how we used the running backs in the screen game. Didn't really have too much success there. So, I mean, I think Brian Robinson, he's gone to show that, he might actually be the second best offensive player behind Scary Terry on our team. And maybe it might be a little exaggeration, but from what I've seen, I think he's our second best player.
Yeah, I mean, Robinson now 50 or more yards in 9 straight games, which is the most in the entire league. Like, you might want to get that guy the ball more. He's consistent. He's very, very good. He's consistently very, very good. Like, that's kind of the point. And it just takes stuff off of Sam's plate. And I think there was just too much on his plate yesterday. And that's part of the reason he's got the opportunity to throw 4 interceptions. So, yeah, not great. He only plays 20 to 54 snaps. But I think 54 snaps is an important number, too, right? Because it's hard to get the screens and the this and the that. And it's like, why does this guy not have targets? Why does that guy not have carries? Why does this guy not have this? Well, when you only run 54 plays as opposed to the 70 that they'd like to, the 80 that they'd like to, that's 20 plus, almost 30 plays that you don't have to play with to get guys touches.
One last thing on B-Rob.
Yeah.
Is it crazy that he only got 37? He was only in on 37% of the snap count.
I mean, they were behind, so they're throwing the ball.
You can use him in the passing game, but hey, look.
They prefer Gibson in those spots, and
That's fair.
I don't disagree that he's probably the better option, but it's not that much separation. I would like to see Robinson got so much work in the passing game, and I thought he was going to be really effective in it because he showed really well in camp. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see them use him a little bit more in that way. All right, Chase Young. I've talked about Chase a lot today. I really did not like Chase Young's game. I thought that he got out of gaps a lot. I thought that he was the reason on a lot of these third downs that Josh Allen was able to run and make plays with his arm. He didn't finish a couple of plays. And I think the thing that's going to get ripped in film is like when he misses, he doesn't like watch Montez Sweat after he misses something. Watch John Allen get involved in plays. Chase is like, I don't want to say loafing, because like I also think some of this commentary gets a little silly when it's like, yeah, he's obviously not going to make the play. So why does he have to waste his energy to prove hustle? But there's some times where like you hustle because you just don't know. Like a guy cuts back, gets held up, and all of a sudden you're back in the play. And then so that's why you do it, because you just don't know. And Chase is not doing that. Like he's jogging behind the play, and you're like, I know you're tired, big fella, but you gotta go. The lack of finish, I think, was very concerning, as was the lack of discipline.
Yeah, lack of discipline, huge emphasis for Chase Young, and that's part of the reason I actually chose him, just because every time we've gone up against a mobile quarterback, he's been the problem in terms of, not, rushing with gap integrity or, staying in his lane or just being disciplined. So, again, I don't want to, beat a drum, but I'm just saying Chase Young does have to play better. And we have 2 more mobile quarterbacks in our next 2 games, so you need to just push the pocket, And
you got to be okay not doing the crazy thing. Like,
exactly.
You just got to be okay rushing on your line and collapsing the pocket and making a quarterback like that beat you from back there, and trusting your coverage. Like, yeah, you won your rush, but like for what? You just open up a bunch of space. Like if you get the sack, okay.
Yeah.
But
if you don't,
like honestly, to me, Anthony, it looked like Deion Dawkins, a veteran, just was punking Chase Young. He's like, I'm going to give you the inside move. Oh, oops, you won again. Hey, Josh, you now have an entire right half of the field to stand in or run to or do whatever you want. Like, it was bad. The play.
Talking about the 2nd and 12 when he rushed inside and he.
No, the play, it's the first one after the Tre'Davious White interception. So they're at the 1 yard line.
Oh, yep.
And it's the one where Diggs winds up getting a big chunk.
Mm-hmm.
They run a play action, and Chase tries to go cut it inside. And Dawkins literally runs him into Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
Like, they're supposed to meet at the quarterback.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be escorted by the left tackle into your other defensive end.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not a good look for Chase Young on that particular play. He's young. He's getting better. He'll be fine, I think, long term to an extent. But that stuff's got to get better.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 5.
Got 2 more players to talk about in our pick 6. Cole Turner. I think Cole was fine. PFF, interestingly, graded him out very well as a run blocker, which is nice. He was on the field for a bunch of good runs, so good for him. I still think he can be a bigger weapon in the passing game, but like we said earlier, like there's only so many reps to go around. I much more prefer to get Jahan Dotson some more touches, but Cole Turner had a couple nice catches yesterday. Anything else on Cole Turner?
No, not really.
Okay.
Number 6.
Sadiq Charles did not have a good day yesterday. And to Sadiq's credit / in fairness to him, I think he got banged up in this game. He had a bit of a limp at times on the field, and he definitely had a bit of a limp in the locker room afterwards. Like your standard offensive lineman ankle type of stuff.
Knee.
And just like it's harder to play football that way. And he's playing against really good players, but like Sadiq Charles was bad yesterday. By the way, the Gibson fumble, partially on Sadiq Charles. The guy who gets through and blows up the screen where AG's got to make a play instantly and then tries to do too much. That first thing, if it doesn't happen, like, who knows what that screen looks like. Sadiq's the one that loses. Some interior pressure given up by Sadiq Charles. Like, you're not getting out in space like you did the week before. This is, I think, a reminder. This pick 6 in itself, nevertheless, all the other talking we've done about this game today. This is a young football team. And young guy stuff we talk about with Sam, it's like, we'll tolerate it there. Well, there's young dudes at a bunch of other positions too. And yesterday was a veteran, like, cohesive, played a bunch of big games together football team that came in here and played a bunch of young dudes and punked them a little bit.
Yeah.
To a lot.
Yeah. Ed Oliver, Tim Settle, they were having their way yesterday. And, we all know the O-line is going to struggle. And I guess they just got to work together and figure it out, to be honest. Like, we knew this in the offseason. We knew this during training camp. And we knew this the first 2 weeks of the season. So, again, like, there's going to be growing pains, I think, on the offensive line all season.
Charles, 45-7, the grade from PFF. 46-7 for Gates. Howell, the only one that's worse, 45-3. You don't know who the best 2 offensive linemen were?
Don't tell me Wiley.
Cosme was the best, according to PFF, but Wiley was second.
Really?
Yeah. 55-8. Not pass blocking, did not have a particularly good grade. Run blocking, 67-5. Or sorry, 77-4, 67-5 overall grade. Like, Andrew Wiley, I will say this to everybody listening. Andrew Wiley is better than you think he is, but he is not great. So some people are going to think he's the worst. Like, I heard someone call into Kevin's show, they got to replace him, both tackles, blah, 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 blah. Put Cornelius Lucas, the guy who's the backup to these guys, or kick Cosme back out to right tackle. Cosme's not that much better than Wiley at right tackle.
Yeah.
Cosme could be a phenomenal right guard. Quit trying to move Sam Cosme to tackle. Let him be an all-pro guard. They got to figure out right tackle eventually. But for now, man, just like it's good. You got to do and this is the other thing with EB and the play calling. EB's got to do a better job insulating these guys. And part of that is running the football and getting less reps in pass, like straight drop back situations.
Yeah, making it a little easier, having some rolling pockets, something,
I didn't feel like they did that a lot yesterday.
The one time we did it, Craig, it was a completion to Terry. So my thing is they need to do a little bit more of it. Just, help Sam out, help the O-line out, change it up a little bit. I think we just see I don't know if EB thinks he's Mahomes where he can do all these dropbacks, but he's not. He's not.
I think EB needs to adjust to like a load management strategy for Sam and this offensive line. Like it works together.
Yeah.
But that's a process. EB is really smart. That's a criticism in that I think it needs to happen. Not I don't think this dude's capable by any stretch of the imagination. Eric Bieniemy's really smart. He'll figure it out. It's the Hoffman Show. We're on the Team 980. We're always live as well on the free Odyssey app. That is our Pick 6. We pick 6 players, 6 things to pay attention to each and every Friday. Evaluate how they played out in the game on Monday. So we will pick our Eagles Pick 6 at 6 p.m. on Friday. When we get back, a little bit from Ron Rivera's presser today, a thought from Sam Howell postgame last night as well. It's the Hoffman Show on the Team 980 and always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the Hoffman Show on the Team 980 and the Odyssey app.